So we're gonna bring the meeting to order. This is the Historic District Commission, Town of Fairfield. Meeting today is May 8th, 2025. The notice of this hearing was published on Friday, April 25th, edition of the Fairfield Citizen. Let's take attendance. Maura Garrett. Present. George Clark.
Present.
Jim Akmondo.
Present.
Art Gravanis.
Present.
And I'm Rosina Negron. Not here at this time is Darren Reitman Locke, Jim Bohan, and Greg Valente. Let's start with. So Maura will be voting, unless anyone else comes in.
Yeah.
The first item on the agenda is Pete Harding, 1050 Old Academy Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, for a property located at 1050 Old Academy Road. For a wire and installed 48 kilowatt generator. Is there anyone here representing this application?
No, Color.
Can you state your name, please?
Robert Bureau.
Let me share for you.
After you back.
Hello. You can start and tell me when to move from page to page.
Okay, so yeah, admittedly, I'm a little unprepared in events before, so we'll just, this was just, I guess, an application certificate. Let's go to the next, yeah. So, oh yeah, perfect. So right there is the existing electrical meter. To the left of that meter, we're gonna be mounting two transfer switches on the outside, which is gonna go on the home. And the actual generator itself is gonna be set on that pad towards the front, near those arborvitaes. So it's gonna be screened from Old Academy. Yeah, it's gonna be a 48 kW propane fed generator.
So in this area?
Exactly, yeah, and we had about a 10-foot, we just made our clearance planning zone by 10 feet. So we have some wiggle room there, setbacks.
And which side of the house is that?
This is actually in the front left.
The very front, or if you're looking at it?
Yeah, I wish I
Side.
could. Yeah, if you're staring at the house, it's to the left,
Right here.
on the left side of the house.
Oh, I didn't see, that, okay.
Yeah, so, yes, if you're facing the home there, it's off to the, it's almost on the side of the house, but it's on the front left, but it's completely screened. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of the job. I mean, we'll be setting it in, we'll be using a crane from Old Academy. Sending it down. We'll be reinforcing, the base will be reinforcing the base. And, yeah, everything will be in conduit, all be concealed. These are the cut sheets, 48 kW, liquid cool. Like most generators, I don't know if it matters, they'll be automatic, they'll start up once a week on the exercise, which can be programmable, taking time. I don't know if there's any guidelines or ordinances that are followed within the historical district, but usually the customer will pick the date and time.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any questions, Mark,
I have no questions.
George,
I have no questions.
Jim,
No questions.
Art?
None, thank you.
And I have no questions. Is there anyone from the public that has any questions? Hearing no, we did not receive any letters in favor of this application or against this application. So this one is closed.
So as from there, it's approved.
No, we'll vote at the end of all the presentations.
Got it.
If you want, you can stay and listen to it, or we will send you, the
Is there something
information.
typical that most people hang out or you just leave?
It depends on,
I'm gonna be the first one to leave.
You are allowed to leave if you want to. We're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, stay here. No.
I don't think it's gonna wait heavily. We'll wait heavily.
A little. Yeah, yeah.
So
All
you'll receive an email with the information.
right. Okay, so we're good to go then.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks. The second item in the agenda is Stephen and Margaret Stoughton, 560 Pequot Avenue, Southport, Connecticut, for a property located at 560 Pequot Avenue for install 2-inch bluestone caps with approximately 2.5 overlap in 3 chimneys. Is there anyone here representing the application?
That would be me. I'm Steve. Stan.
Let me get to your.
I made copies. I don't know whether what you will have. I'm assuming you have my form I filled out.
Yes.
And you, Rosanna, you and I spoke, I think, about a month ago.
Yeah, hold on one sec. Okay.
So I have just pictures. These are pictures of, I didn't have a digital copy, but they're pictures of what it looks like after I installed, but I
Okay.
don't know whether you can distribute that or not. But basically, this issue arose when we found water making its way into our firebox about a little over a month ago with that heavy rain. And Rosanna, you and I spoke, I had mentioned that we're planning on installing caps on our chimneys. You had mentioned that I should fill out the certificate of appropriateness, that the work could proceed, but that we should plan to present at today's meeting. The work is being done by Tim, it was done by Tim Romano. Pictures are in the back, they're pretty much as forecasted. We have 2 brick chimneys, 1 fieldstone chimney. The caps are in the footings are brick and Belgian block, and the actual cap itself is bluestone as described, 2-inch bluestone. In addition to this, we were told a couple of days ago that we need some roofing repairs as well, but that's something we can cross that bridge another day perhaps. But
Yeah, that
there's-
would not be part of this.
Okay, I didn't think so. And that's all I have. I wish it was more elaborate, but pretty straightforward.
You're welcome that. Any questions?
I have no questions.
George,
No
any
questions.
questions? Jim, any questions?
No questions.
Art, any questions?
No, thank you.
I have no questions. Is there anyone from the public who has questions? Hearing none, we did not receive any letters in favor of this application or against this application, so thank you.
Okay, thank you.
The next item in the agenda is Andrew and Laura Grayson, 860 Pequot Avenue, Southport, Connecticut, for a property located at 860 Pequot Avenue. A, to replace existing deck with new covered porch and steps. B, new bluestone patio and walk. C, masonry fireplace. D, fieldstone retaining wall. And E, lighting. Is there anyone here representing this application?
Good afternoon. I'm Jack Franson. I'm here to represent Laura and Andrew, who are joining me here. And I'm going to start out with the site plan just to get you oriented. So here's the survey, and you can see this is the house that you drive by when you come out of Old South Road and head towards the beach on the west side of the street. It's a Victorian house with a detached garage and a circular driveway. And the proposed work is at the rear of the house. Where there's currently a wood deck. The site plan shows the proposed work, which is basically a covered porch, more or less covering where the deck is now, with the addition of 2 sets of steps coming off of that deck, and a sidewalk and patio, an outdoor fireplace, and a low retaining wall to level off the grade behind the covered porch. And here you can see the existing porch, which was built, I think, when Ben Baker was the architect who worked on this house. I think it was in the 1990s. And I think that this deck was probably done at that time. It was in the same ownership for like 20 years. The proposed deck, like I said, it's more or less in the same location. This is an existing covered porch right now. And that's staying. We're replicating the posts, the architecture that you see on the main house. The roof plan, you can see there's a hip roof that wraps around. And then there's a low pitch section of the roof, which will be soldered copper roof. And you can see there's snow guards on this, and I'll get into that later in more detail. And then this shows you what the addition of the porch will look like, where we're replicating the posts, the railing details, the foundation, which is scored stucco. The main house has a masonry foundation and it's stuccoed and it's scored to look like coursed masonry. So we're just going to match that. And you can see the low pitch roof wrapping around, and the copper roof, I don't think you can see it from anywhere in the public way, but it'll look great when you're inside the house looking down on it. The site part of it, as I said, there's a low retaining wall. It'll be New England fieldstone, laid up with more or less horizontal coursing. And there's a set of steps. There's a break in the wall, a little set of steps to go down to the backyard. There are wetlands on this property, and they're all below where that wall is. We're proposing an outdoor fireplace and a patio. They're going to go to the south of that lawn that I just described with the retaining wall. And you can get there by means of the southern set of stairs and a little sidewalk. That's all bluestone, and then the fireplace is going to be native fieldstone to match the stone in the wall. There are some lighting fixtures going on this that you'll be able to see, or maybe able to see. Two of them are going to go on these porch posts, and two of them are going to go on these porch posts, and then two of them are going to go on the opening in the stone wall. I have a cut sheet here. This is the one that goes in the masonry, and this is one that goes in the stone wall. And they're oil rubbed bronze finish, quite small. The thing that's a little tricky is that the roof on this house is synthetic slate. And this was all approved. It was carefully thought out. Ben Baker came up with this polychrome design. It was all reviewed by HDC. It was way before the controversy with the First Church. And we're proposing to match that. They still make the same product. And it's a product called EchoStar. And it's the only way we're going to be able to match what's there. And that little porch that I mentioned that's existing, that's what that roof is. So the thing is, you probably only see the north side of this roof. And maybe you can see the south side of it if there are no leaves on the trees. We think it's been there for 20 years. I don't think anybody realizes that it's synthetic slate, but it is, and that's what we plan to use. The snow guards are going to be lead coated copper. The gutters are going to be lead coated copper. The leaders are going to be lead coated copper. And we think it'll look great when it's done. Any questions?
Maura, do you have any questions?
And he's been doing it for decades.
I have is, the fireplace is how tall?
It's 9'6" at the highest point.
Okay. And how close is that to the boundary, the neighbor? It's hard to see like whether that would be visible at all from the road
I
or,
think you might catch a glimpse of it. It's pretty far back.
yeah.
But that land comes down, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's, I would say the beginning of the fireplace is probably about 23 feet off the property line. The side yard setback in the R3 zone is 15 feet, and that's what
Okay.
that line is there. So by the time you get to the flue, it's probably 26, 27 feet before you get to the flue.
Okay, and there's bushes there, I mean, the neighbors.
Oh, yeah, this is a beautifully landscaped piece of property.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and on both sides, this is a nice piece of property over here too.
Okay, just making sure.
Very tall. I think
Yeah.
the neighbors put them in
Yeah.
before we moved in.
They have a pool.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, so they have a
Okay.
pool, so they really wanted to, create privacy.
Check their lines.
Back when they had kids that were making noise.
Yeah.
But now they have.
Now we have.
Now you're making kids.
It all comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
George, do you have any questions?
No, I don't know.
Jim, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Art, do you have any questions?
No, looks good, Jack. Just no more sneaking in synthetic roofing, okay?
No, it wouldn't even cross our mind.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions. Is there anyone from the public who has any questions? Hearing none, we did not receive any letters in favor of this application, nor did we receive any letters opposing this application. Just for the record, Greg Valente and Darren Raymond Locke are here now. So Darren will be voting from now on. Thank you, Jack. The next item on the agenda is Kyle and Alana Griswold, 298 Harbor Road, Southport, Connecticut. For a property located at 298 Harbor Road. A, remove steel edging at driveway replaced with 3-inch nominal bluestone left and right sides. Oh, and Jim Bohan just joined as well.
Good afternoon. I'm Jack Franson, representing the Griswolds on this application. And this property is located on the west side of Harbor Road as you go up from the Tidal Bridge, about halfway up the hill. It's a cave, it's a beautiful house, very deep lot, also a lot of topography here. And when we did the renovation on this house a couple of years ago, we got a bluestone curve approved. And it was expensive, so one of the alternates was a steel edge, and we ended up putting the steel edge in, and that was approved. It's not performing well, because there's so much water that comes off of that hill. We can't get the steel edge up high enough to really stop the water. And if you raise it any higher, then when you back up, your tires are gonna get shredded by the steel edge. So we're back here with bluestone curb, which would be nominal 3-inch bluestone. Which, you can see it around town on a lot of, there's some on Harbor Road, a lot of homes have it. And it's been deemed appropriate before, and it would go all the way down on both sides of the driveway. On the plan, it says remove Belgian block. That was done when we put the steel edge in. So right now, there's just steel edge on both sides. So we're proposing to replace that with the bluestone curving, take it down to the street. When it gets to the sidewalk, it'll be dropped down to be flush with the sidewalk, so you won't trip on it. But it'll just make a nice clean edge to the driveway. And we think it'll contain the water 99% of the time. Any questions?
Darren?
When you pull up the steel edging, is it going to create any damage to the driveway? And if so, you're just going to replace in kind?
We don't think so.
Okay.
But if it does, it's an oil and stone driveway,
Oh, yeah.
so it's pretty easy to
Perfect.
patch it.
Okay, that was my only question. Thank you.
Mark?
I have no questions.
Greg?
No questions.
George?
No questions.
Jim? Hey?
No questions.
Thank you.
Art?
None, thank you.
Jim Bohan? You're on mute.
Everybody's here today.
I'm sorry.
Everybody's here.
Yeah. Yes, about it. Eventually.
Speaking of her,
Yeah, this is true.
Brought you in now.
You're still on mute.
We love you.
Gonna assume you don't have any questions. I do not have any questions. Is there anyone from the public who has questions? Hearing none, we did not receive any letters in favor of this application, nor any opposing this application, so this one is closed. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
The next item in the agenda, we did not receive the requested documentation. It was Matthew and Danielle Richardson, 176 Main Street, 1B, Southport, Connecticut, for a property located at 176 Main Street to replace a two-pane casement Anderson brand window with grills fixed on the inside and outside of the glass, paints to get a closer match to the windows in the rest of the building. This was a property that had a violation. The violation had been removed. We had a pre-application meeting for this submission, and I basically have been requesting for the submission for a complete submission. It was not provided, so I indicated that we might have to go back and put a violation because we need to make sure that everything is done by their guidelines. So we won't be voting on that one. So the next item on the agenda is Andrew and Claudia Wilbur, 227 Main Street, Southport, Connecticut, 06890, for a property located at 227 Main Street, Southport, for A, revisions to the portion of application approved July 2024 to install native gravel on the driveway at 227 Main Street, previously approved for asphalt paving, install reclaimed cobblestones on stone dust between the driveways, previously approved as bluestone on concrete, were indicated on the site plan, newly proposed reclaimed cobblestone curb to retain grade currently being retained by large maple tree. And B, revision to the application approved January 2025, 1.66-inch diameter pipe railing along the right side of the steps to 227 Main Street, previously approved as a 2-inch diameter with altered detailing. Is there anyone here to present this application?
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Linda Batchelder from Baker Batchelder Architects, representing Claudia and Andrew Wilbur. And I'll start with the railing, which we had approved previously, I believe back in January. And we've had trouble sourcing what was previously available. So we've come back with a new solution of a steel railing that is slightly smaller. Both of the railings, the previously approved and this one, were smaller than the existing. We wanted to make a distinction between the historic fabric and what was new. So it's of a similar sort of a layout, but it's just a very simple design, but it is still steel pipe. It will be painted, finished, just as this one is paint finished. So that's that. And then for the driveway, we had approved what's now just pretty much dirt is all that's left, is an asphalt driveway. And we had some issues because we needed so much retention. We had to get from stormwater, we had to put the Coltex in the yard. And it was so large that we really needed the machine. And we had multiple discussions with the neighbor who did not want to let us take out a part of privet to enter the property, because otherwise we'd be taking down this stone wall or this brick wall up here in order to get a machine in. We could not squeeze it between the back steps and the garage. So that brought us back to a gravel driveway, and we're no longer asking to pave this driveway, but to use a native gravel on it, which is in the back here. It's O&G's standard native gravel. So that would be in this driveway. We're still, I haven't paved this one, we're still going to repave the existing paved driveway that's at 219. And then instead of having, when both of these were dark surfaces, we felt like the middle should be dark as well. But now that we found some natural stone here, we're asking instead to put cobblestone in stone dust here. So also that we won't need any Coltex to retain that. And in the future, if the the owner who owns both properties right now sells one, they might be taking some of the cobblestones up and planting between to feel like there's more separation, so they're also doing it to stone us for that reason. These are the reclaimed cobblestones, came from the streets of New York originally, recently acquired by a local stoneyard from somebody whose hobby it was apparently to collect these. So this is what we're proposing for this area between the two driveways. And then this tree at the behest of the arborist is now down. And so this garage is at a higher elevation by more than a foot. So what we would like to do is run the cobble as a curb to help retain some of the grade here between the back of the paved area and the garage, the small garage here at 227. Any questions?
Darren,
No questions for me, thank you.
Laura,
No, beautiful.
Greg,
No questions.
George?
Cobblestones. Are they approved in the HTC? And no issue, right? Which stone is not approved? Oh, Belgian block. Yeah, right, okay. Just to distinguish, just to make sure. Okay, so I like that. I think the plan's very good. It's great property.
Jim Ace?
In 72, I dug these up in the city of Boston and made a fortune. Sold them for $1 a piece. I don't know what they got for today.
More than dog.
Right. But as a kid, that was a lot of money. But thank you, no questions.
Yeah.
Art?
No, thank you. Looks good.
Thank you.
Jim Bohan? Still muted?
Thumb up, thumbs up.
Saying something.
Thumb up or down, Jim?
Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Questions?
Love you, Jim.
We're gonna assume there's no questions. I don't have any questions. Is there anyone from the public who has questions? Hearing none, we did not receive any letters in favor of this application and did not receive any letters opposing this application. So this application is now closed. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very cobblestone.
I had to, and then I went to the other building and I was like, forget it.
It's like security.
There's a lady in the.
No problem. Yeah.
The next item in the agenda is the Fairfield Country Day School Corporation, 2970 Bronson Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, for a property located at 2970 Bronson Road. For A, the removal of existing playground equipment and installation of new playground equipment. B, replacement of playground surface with pervious poured rock surface. C, replacement of existing curbing with new stone curbing. D, installation of new pebbled asphalt walkway. E, installation of new stone seat wall parallel to sports court. Is there anyone here to present this application?
Yes, Chair, Commissioners, Chris Russo with Russo and Rizzio LLC offices at 10 Cecil Hill Road in Fairfield, Connecticut, here on behalf of the applicant. You all are moving so fast, started before rest of my team got here, but that's okay. I have the presentation down, so I will run through it with you. So Fairfield Country Day School, so I'm sure you're all familiar with it. We are here for the East Campus. I know some of you came out for a site visit. It was last year now, it's been some time flies. We are dealing with the East Campus. That's the West Campus. We will hopefully be with before you soon on that. It's a little bit more involved of a project, but this one is also important to us, and it's for the replacement of the playground equipment. I'm here with Blythe Smith, who's our Director of Development, and also Margot Pierce, who is our head of school. It's a very important project for the school. I don't know, Margot, do you want to say a few words on the project and what we're what we're looking to do with this playground.
Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you for hearing us out. I've been at the school 20 years. I've only been head for 5, but I have a long history at FCDS. The playground is obviously a very important part of our program. We're educating boys in kindergarten through grade 9. So we're really, really excited. We haven't actually done a project with the school since 2008. So this one, we hope, meets your approval. We're really excited about it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So survey here. So just to orient you, here's Bronson Road. Across the street, we have the Frederick Bronson Windmill that I'm sure y'all have driven by 1,000 times. There's the main campus of the main building of the school. There's the U-turn around, the first turnaround where parents drop off their kids. Here's the sport court, which we put in for repair order. That's another part of this whole project where this is just getting repaired, and the existing fence is getting replaced there. So that was a separate repair order. And then behind this building is the playground, and which really you really see best, if you want to call it best, from Verna Hill Road. Driven by the school and this down Verna Hill Road, what you know is that there is a very steep grade change. The grade here is 204, 206, where the playground is. The matching grade on Verna Hill is actually over here, which, it's farthest distance that Verna Hill gets from this playground. And then it just steep drops off as you head down the hill. By the time you're at this location here at Verna Hill, you're already down to 186. So you're sitting about 20 feet lower than it. And then the other thing you probably know if you're driven by it is that, and I'll show you one of the pictures, but there's an established stone wall that runs along that entire property. So this is the existing playground. It's been since 2008 when this work was done. It's used by K through 5. It's used by the summer camp. It's used by some of the neighbors' kids. So it's seen some punishment over the years. You might not be able to see all the cracks in it, but there's definitely some deterioration. It's got this rubber mat floor. And then you can see the various structures here. You can see the curbing here, which is being replaced, or proposed to be replaced with this application. And this view right here is looking from the south up at it. This is looking from the school building out towards the playground. This is another view of the existing playground. This is looking from the north down at it. And you can see it here. And again, just more shots of how it's deteriorated. It's gotten to the point where it just needs to be replaced. The maintenance of it has taken up a lot of the staff's time. And there's some issues with some of the columns on these things where the kids won't be able to. I'm going to skip over this one actually because it relates to one of the things that I'm proposing. Let's go to this set plan. So this shows the new playground proposed, a little bit expanded of an area, just so you get distance-wise from this. So this is our property line. The closest it gets to our property line is 116 feet. Again, the nearest grade right there is 182. We're at 206 here. And then the other new feature we're proposing is a stone seat for like faculty that are sitting here and they're going to watch kids at the sport court. It's a field stone kind of bench with a bluestone cap to it. So that's 104, which you can see this is 116. This is about 250 feet, I would say, away from the area where it's matched on grade. So getting into the structures proposed. First are these wooden tables and benches. This is almost all wood. The wood that's used is black locust. There's a set of 4 of them that are going to be located on the northern end of the playground. Next is pirate ship. It's one of the main features of the playground. My nephews wanted the Millennium Falcon, but they got outvoted. So we went with something that's more appropriate to Fairfield. That's located right here. This, again, is about 90% wood, what you see. The exceptions being the slide here is metal. Again, to take the beating it'll take from just the kids using it so much, but also there is HDP, whatever it's called, around the windows, that area. Otherwise, section of wood. Dimensioning wise, just so you understand what that is size wise. So the actual structure itself is 24 feet wide, 24 feet 7 inches wide, and then long it is 31 feet 6 inches. The rest that you're seeing is the grading that goes around it. This longer section here. Height wise, the total height is 19 feet 1 inches, but that's to the very top of the flags. The top of the main part of the structure is 8 feet 10 inches. This is a rendering, so this is looking from the north down towards the south. You can see those benches over here, and you get a good shot of the ship here. I'll show you, this is the lighthouse structure, and there's a basket swing, but there's a better view of this in another rendering. But you can see, so Verna Hill would be off in the distance. You can see the sport court back there. This is a pebbled asphalt walkway. That's something this commission has previously approved at Fairfield Country Day and its neighboring properties. I'll go back to that photo I had, which is of one of the walkways that's been approved before by the HTC. And then this is a poured rubber surface it's 100% pervious, which is important on a campus like this because they have so many buildings and parking areas that for something like this to have be pervious. But it's also rubber. It can withstand the kids using it. So next we have this is the track ride. Smaller structure, mainly wood, except for this metal piece that runs that they ride along. All right, and the next is the second main feature, going with that nautical theme. Lighthouse, not a windmill like what's across the street, but something that, some visually is in line. Again, almost exclusively wood, except for the slide, which is plastic and has some metal parts to it. This, which is nylon coated steel, this rope, and then this material up here that for safety reasons that's keeping the kids in is like a thin metal mesh. What you'll notice too, and you'll see it better in the next elevation I'll show you, is that the slide actually comes down below grade from the lighthouse. That'll be represented. Let's see this. Here we go. Just a rocker seesaw located here on this interior portion. This is mostly metal just because of what it's actually doing. It just needs to be a little tougher. But again, sticking with that nautical theme. Here are the elevations for the lighthouse. So the lighthouse itself is 16 feet. But what you notice, and you'll see it better in the rendering, is that the slide actually drops down a little bit below the grade of the lighthouse. One of the nice things about this poured rubber surface, as opposed to kind of what we have now, is rather than just being a flat, just kind of black tiles, monotone, not much going on. We were able to build in this grading to make it look a little bit more interesting than what we currently have, but also work in these mulch beds and have some landscaping interspersed as well. But, you know, again, trying to stick with this nautical beach theme. And again, this is the pebbled asphalt walkway. And the final playground structure is the basket swing, which again is mostly. And I think after that, so this is a rendering. Well, sorry, this is the current view. So this is the existing playground. This is looking, if you're at the same grade as the playground, maybe a little bit above it, looking across the sport court. So you're on Verna Hill Road, looking towards the playground as it exists now. And then the last is showing the new structures. So you can see Lighthouse and Shiver are really the ones that you get distinguished there. Again, it's set back a considerable distance from the road. And the only other thing I want to take it back to. I went right to it. There you go. This is that pebbled asphalt walkway. This is currently across the street. It was approved previously by H2C. So we have that throughout a lot of areas in our campus where we've done some new work. That is what would run along that left side of the playground. And then this, I just included this. It's you've probably seen that poured rubber surface that you see a lot on playgrounds. That's what it is. It allows you to manipulate it better and working in better than those tiles. So that's akin to what we would do to kind of keep that nautical theme. And with that, we have Sean O'Connell should be online. He's the one for Vision Sports Design who worked on this plan. He can certainly answer some of the finer questions that you might have on it. But that's a proposal. We're very excited about it. It's definitely something that's needed. And yeah, happy to answer your questions.
Sarah, do you have any questions?
No questions for me, thank you.
Thank you.
Mark?
I have no questions. Thank you.
Rex?
The height of the Fairfield Country Day School
Itself,
as it is, yeah.
the building itself. Sean's on, he has that information.
It's not gonna, it's, the height of the tower is not gonna,
No, I mean, the other thing,
right, from the street on
Yeah.
the other side, because you
No.
guys did a view from Verna Hill, which I live right there on the other side.
Yeah,
But if you go down, Bronson,
yeah.
you can, when you look to the right from the school, from the tower, from the water tower, you won't see.
No.
won't be able to see it. The other thing too is just so you
At
know,
all. Right, okay.
this is 222. And so this area right here, right at the very kind of front of the school is 222, and this is down at 206. So even there, you're talking about a 16-foot grade change.
Right, and there's a field behind it that, as you get down the hill, it goes like 50.
Yeah, I mean, this is 152.
Down there.
This is about 50
And
feet.
that is grass or artificial turf on the other side?
Grass.
Grass, okay. Yeah, I remember there was a issue. Okay.
Discussion many years ago, but
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can see right here, there's a big chunk of it drop off there. It's
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
George, do you have any questions?
Nope, no questions.
Jim A, do you have any questions?
Nope. Good.
Art, do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Jim Bohan, we are going to assume that there are no questions because you are muted. I have no questions. Is there anyone from the public that has any questions? Hearing none, we did not receive any letters in favor of this application, nor received any letters opposing these applications. Oh, Jim is able to join. Yes, go ahead, Jim.
I have a two-part question. Lovely presentation. helpful photographs, very valuable.
Thank you.
This playground, it looks like from the photographs, it is going to be visible from Vernon Hill Road.
Yeah, the best spot that you probably could see it from is about 250 feet away.
So if it's visible from Vernon Hill Road. Now I look at page 63 of the handbook where it talks about playground, sporting and entertainment equipment. And for the life of me, I don't see a clear requirement here. I'm reading the second paragraph, playground, sporting and entertainment equipment, which is non-portable or affixed to the ground, regulated by the Historic District Commission, includes but is not limited to, and then it lists A through N playgrounds, but there's no requirement. So I don't know how I'd feel seeing a playground from there. I'm neutral to it. But I guess each of the commissioners is going to have to decide how we feel about that. It doesn't offend me, but the requirements in the handbook are ambiguous. They're non-existent. And I don't know how we're going to treat it. I find it a very nice job and I'm not offended by it. I don't think it's inappropriate, but we're working against a requirement that doesn't exist in the handbook.
Yeah, I think, Commissioner, what we tried to do when we went into the design of this is one, to pick materials, one, to have it primarily be wood. We didn't want something that was, entirely metal and just, look like a space station. And theme wise, we didn't pick anything that looked like a space station. We tried to pick a theme that was appropriate for Fairfield. And obviously it's not historic playground, but that's what we tried to do in our design, while also making it, something that is going to be able to withstand, 10, 15, 20 years of kids using it all the time.
And kind of to clarify also, the Historic District Commission primarily focuses on regulating the exterior architectural features visible from the public ways. And we do not typically regulate the playgrounds, but we review the alterations to the structures, including the ones that involve playgrounds. So it's kind of part of what we have to review in a way. I know Darren has some other comments, so.
Well, for me, playgrounds in backyards, if it's not bolted and rebarred into the ground and not a permanent structure, I don't think is within our purview. Some of this is actually bolted to the ground, so I don't mind reviewing it. I don't have a problem with anything that you've proposed, so I don't.
I think there's something about hockey, cages and stuff like that we prefer not to see them in people's yards, but other than that, I don't think there's anything.
I mean, if it's a movable structure, we don't have purview, so.
Mm-hmm.
But all of this is bolted to the ground. The tables too, right?
Yeah.
The tables that give our.
Yeah.
The ship has a foundation.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, so I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Does that covers what you asked, Jim?
I think so, yeah. Thank you.
So since we did not receive any letters in favor or opposing this application, this hearing is now closed. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
The next item in the agenda is Town of Fairfield, Pequot Avenue, Station Street, and Chester Place intersection, Southport, Connecticut, for a property located at Pequot Avenue, Station Street, Chester Place intersection, Southport, Connecticut, for A, replace the existing ADA ramps with new ADA compliant ramps and curb extensions. B, provide a channelized island at the intersection of Station Street and Pequot Avenue to channelize the right tunneling vehicles and eliminate the conflict with pedestrians and straight-through traffic, and split approximately 42 feet wide roadway into 2 lanes, right turning and straight-through lanes. The commission does not have any purview on anything other than the materials. So is there anyone here to present this application?
I think it might be me. I can share more about my hesitancy. So it was not on the copy of the agenda, so I think Mega Jane, the engineer, it was in the documents, not on the bullets. So I think she didn't see that it was on the agenda.
It's not in the agenda.
But all the documents are in the agenda and I know we received confirmation. So
Do we need to?
It needs to
Make
be.
a vote.
No, it was on this agenda,
Oh, so there was,
the second page.
So it was
So it was
in
in
the
the-
notice.
it was in the
was
notice.
noted.
You're fine.
Yeah,
Yes,
notice.
the notice is perfect.
Yes.
So to that degree, I'm very comfortable discussing materials as long as you are without engineering being on here. Perfect.
You're part of the applicants.
Sure am.
So-
So my name's Laura Grayson. So I am representing the Sasquatch Association as we partnered with the Fairfield Town of Engineering on behalf of a resident who actually originally submitted this to the police commission back in October. So for discussion today, Rosina, are you comfortable or do you want to share the documents? Okay.
Sure.
No, that's okay. It's like I can pull them up if you want.
I thought it was
Yeah,
up right there. It's on my computer, so
So-
let me share it.
And to share too, thank you to Jim Bohan and Rosina. We did have a pre-application meeting last Wednesday, myself and Judy Proctor, Jim and Rosina, to look on site at the location and again, specifically talk about the materials. So the materials at hand will be in the channelized island flush to the pavement as well as the crosswalk itself. The only material change will be to use brick, similar style brick that you see here. It is authentic brick. It's not printed. It's not stamped concrete or anything like that. Won't be painted. It'll be red brick. And that's the entire.
Darren, do you have any questions?
No, that was pretty straightforward. I
Thank
think I
you.
got it. Thank you.
Maura?
I have no questions.
No questions.
So when you say it's brick only, the white ribbon around the edges, is that included?
No, that's an example of what
I
they did.
understand.
So, no. So there will be white paint, as you see there, from the sides of the crosswalk.
Yeah, that's fine. No questions.
Jim A?
No questions.
Art? Jim
No
Bohan?
questions for us.
Thank you.
Good, all right.
Jim Bohan?
I'm sorry, I missed that conversation before. You're saying this is a photograph of Fairfield Upcountry, but Station Street will not have these poles, or will Station Street have these poles?
We
The,
have nothing to do with the poles. We're
Okay.
talking about materials.
Materials.
Okay, so we're just talking about the surface area on the road.
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's right.
Do you have any questions?
I'm just wondering, would it be possible to have the committee look at the materials after they're chosen? Is that feasible? I'm just asking.
So the
because-
material being proposed is brick.
Right.
Red brick.
Is there any way of getting a more tactile view of it to
I'm happy to commit engineering to show you the brick.
You can go to.
I'm sorry. I'm just wondering, would the commission have the ability to view the actual brick that's going to be used and say yay or nay on it? Would that be a
It's-
possible thing to do?
It's red brick, so there's usually variations in the
Well,
red brick,
there's-
but
There's a vast variety of different red bricks, vast variety. We learned that building our house.
It's the same
My
red brick
wife
that
went-
you used downtown. Right?
My wife went through almost over a year research on the brick we used.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, can we can we exercise that kind of judgment
Let's,
on brick? On
let's
in-
discuss that in, when we're voting. Okay,
Once again, please?
let's discuss that when we are voting.
Okay. Oh, fair enough.
But just-
Agreed. Thank you.
But just for the
Yep.
record, can you repeat what you guys just spoke about? It's the same red brick that you use downtown.
Correct. That's my understanding. The town gets it from the same supplier.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so that's just in the record. Yeah.
Yes. I do not have any questions. Is there anyone from the public that has any questions? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
talking about the brick, I used to
Your
live
name?
right at this intersection.
Your name?
Jackson, formerly of 416 Pequot Avenue.
Thank you.
760 Congress Street. And the brick that's used in Boston is called College Blend. It's a beautiful brick. It comes in a flash in different shades. I don't know if it's ADA compliant. I don't know why it wouldn't be. I think they use it on similar applications in Massachusetts. And it's made by a company called Morin Brick, Morin. So if that were recommended by the commission as something they could look into, it's maybe more appropriate than what you see downtown. And it's very durable.
Is that Jack
It's the
France?
only brick-
Yes.
That's Jack.
It's the only brick that I will use exterior for a walking surface with the freezing and thawing. It's not indestructible, but it's the most durable one I've ever found.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public? We did not receive any letters in favor of this application, not any letters opposing this application, so this hearing is now closed. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We are now moving to the considerations of the public hearing. The first item in the agenda is Pete Harding, 1050 Old Academy Road for a property located at 1050 Old Academy Road. Wire and install 48 kilowatt generator. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve the submitted.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to do that.
I came in late.
So George and Maura, is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's take a vote. All in favor? The motion passes. The second item in the agenda is Stephen and Margaret Staunton, 560 Pequot Avenue, Southport, Connecticut, for a property located at 560 Pequot Avenue. For installed 2-inch bluestone taps with approximately 2.5 overlap in 3 chimneys. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Anyone seconds?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Let's take a vote. All in favor? The motion passes. The next item in the agenda is Andrew and Laura Grayson, 860 Pequot Avenue, Southport, Connecticut, for a property located at 860 Pequot Avenue. For A, replace existing deck with new covered porch and steps. B, new bluestone patio and walk. C, masonry fireplace. D, fieldstone retaining wall. And E, lighting. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve.
It's submitted.
It's submitted.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Okay, the motion passes. The next item in the agenda, which Darren will be voting for, is,
And Greg. He was here before me.
yes, but he's an alternate.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Never correct the trash.
Kyle and Atlantic Griswold, 298 Harbor Road, Southport, Connecticut, for a property located at 298 Harbor Road. For A, remove steel edging at driveway replaced with 3-inch nominal bluestone left and right sides. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. You just wanted to beat me to it.
Yes, it is.
Any discussion? Hearing none, let's take a vote. All in favor? Okay, the motion passes. The next item in the agenda, it was for Matthew and Danielle Richardson, 176 Main Street, 1B Southport, Connecticut, for a property located at 176 Main Street, to replace a 2-pane casement Anderson brand new window with grills fits on the inside and outside of glass panes to get a closer match to the window in the rest of the building. What I'm gonna ask is, shall we make a motion to kind of reinstate a violation, or?
I think we can just say no motion taken.
Okay, so.
Or no action taken.
No action.
Okay.
No action taken. We didn't hear anything. There's nothing to
No.
vote on. There's no motion for anything. It was an incomplete
Yes,
A no show.
application.
Yeah, was there a reason they didn't come back? They seemed pretty
they,
on top of it the last time.
they didn't submit any of the.
Yeah, the application's
documents. The
incomplete. so
application was just the first page.
Yeah.
Do we need to move forward with a violation, or do we give them one more chance?
How long has this been now?
So the previous, the project was, a repair order. There was a violation. They repaired, the window, but it was not in kind in theory. So this is,
So when did we receive the application? Do you know? Do you have a date stamp?
yes, on the day, I think it was like April 16th or so.
Then, we have, I think, 30 days or 60 days to review. I can't remember. I think it's 30. So I mean, if it's more than that, we can hold it for the next
next
agenda.
Okay,
But if the time taps out before that, then they're gonna have to come back with a new agenda. Or a new.
Right, but it's also her, like, the violation.
do we do a
Yeah, I don't
violation or no?
know. I would give them,
Another chance.
I would err on the side of caution, double check the, time,
Okay.
the CGS and
Yep.
just make sure of the time. Because I wouldn't want to say go for a violation if they had time to come back and finish that and then put it back. I mean, I tend to err on the side of like, let's not be oppositional.
Okay, perfect. The next item in the agenda is Andrew and Gloria Wilbur, 227 Main Street, Southport, Connecticut, for a property located at 227 Main Street. For A, revisions to the portion of the application approved July 2024, installed native gravel on the driveway at 227 Main Street, previously approved for asphalt paving, install reclaimed cobblestones on stone dust between the driveway previously approved as bluestone on concrete, were indicated on the site plan, newly proposed reclaimed cobblestone curb to retain the grade currently being retained by a large maple tree. And B, revision to an application approved January 2025 for 1.66-inch diameter pipe railing along the right side of the steps to 227 Main Street, previously approved as 2-inch diameter with altered detailing. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Second.
You just love it.
I do.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's take a vote. All in favor? The motion passes. The next item in the agenda is the Fairfield County Country Day School Corporation, 2970 Bronson Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, for a property located at 2970 Bronson Road. For A, the removal of existing playground equipment and installation of new playground equipment. B, replacement of playground surface with pervious poured rub surface. C, replacement of existing curbing with new stone curbing. D, installation of new pebbled asphalt walkway. E, installation of new stone seat wall parallel to sports court. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion?
I'm jealous. I wish my school had this.
I think we should put a condition of get to go play.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the first play. Want to know when it's open.
Is it weighted for adults? Yeah, none for them.
Hearing none, let's take a vote. All in favor? The motion passes. The next item in the agenda, it's Town of Fairfield, Pequot Avenue, Station Street, and Chester Place intersection, Southport, Connecticut, for a property located at Pequot Avenue, Station Street, and Chester Place intersection, Southport, Connecticut, for A, replace the existing ADA ramps with new ADA compliant ramps and curb extensions. B, provide a channelized island at the intersection of Station Street and Pequot Avenue to channelize the right turning vehicles and eliminate the conflict with pedestrians and straight through traffic, and split approximately 42 feet wide roadway into 2 lanes, right turning and straight through lane. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted with the recommendation that the town looks at the College Blend brick from Moran and Co. Is that the name of the?
Yeah, Mormon brick.
Moran Brick.
Okay, any 1 second?
Can we add that the commission will review the actual break
So,
before it's installed?
so Jim, I got no issue with that, but if you actually Googled Moran brick, the College Blend water struck, it looks like brick is online. And you can actually see the different variations of the bricks. And I think we're recommending that College Blend, so it's
Why don't we stipulate that instead of
That's-
recommend?
That's
Or-
it.
It's not. a
But another-
stipulation. I don't know that I feel
we-
comfortable with the stipulation, but.
yeah.
Jim, I don't think we can review it after we approve or disapprove. It's an up or
Right.
down vote.
I think we've gone pretty far in the sense of even going into the
Yeah. I
Moran
mean,
brick as a recommendation, not a mandate.
Yeah.
I think, I feel good about that,
I mean,
based on what
Yeah.
you had just said previously, Jack.
They're not going to outsource a separate, they're gonna use what they use.
Yeah,
downtown.
exactly,
I
absolutely.
So-
think you're.
Jim, those are the examples.
Oh, there you go, perfect.
Yeah, the choice being made here, there's a vast difference between the left-hand image and the image 2 to the right. There's a vast difference there, I think.
The
Maybe
first
that
two,
comes-
the first two are the first one is the Moran College Blend.
Right, right. I would just feel more comfortable being able to look at it before it's installed. But
Then you'd have to vote to deny.
I don't really think that that's within our purview.
I-
Looking
yeah.
at material, it's brick.
But
It's not
can't
going to
we
be a
add
stamped brick or.
a dish.
Same brick they used in downtown Fairfield.
Yeah, as long as it's
That's what they
brick.
buy.
Yeah, it's, as long as it's the brick that they say and not like a stamped concrete
Right.
or a stamped or rolled or taped or whatever. As long as it's brick, I'm happy with that. And I don't know that I don't feel comfortable wanting them to come back yet again to review a material that is brick.
Correct.
We've made a recommendation. I think that's more than what we had to do.
And we don't stipulate this type of cobblestone.
No.
that type of-
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The brick is approved.
Yeah.
So having Jim lost the connection, is there any other discussion?
Nope.
Okay. So it is to approve as presented with the recommendation that the town looks at the College Blend Moran brick.
Brick. Just look at it.
Yeah.
That's all they have to do.
Yeah, right.
So let's take a vote. All in favor? Okay, the motion passes. So now we're finished with all the things that were presented to us. Thank you very much to everyone. You'll receive some certificate of appropriateness by email. And if there's any questions, you guys can reach back. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I want my invitation to the playground.
Yeah, the ribbon cutting.
What about the fire?
I'll bring cookies, so, yeah, we'll go there after.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thanks.
Want to walk up that walk, eh? That fire.
Let's move on to approval of the minutes. The one that was included in the notice was for 4/10/2025. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
In 1 second.
I can second.
One second.
Or you would second. What?
She beat you to it.
That's okay.
The next one, we will need a motion to include it in the agenda. It will be the one for 4/24/25. Is there a motion to include that one?
I don't think I was there. Was
No,
I?
you were not.
No.
Yes, you were.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to include the minutes for April 25th, 2025 in the agenda. I need a second.
Is there anyone that seconds?
Are there?
Yes, you were.
I'll
You
second.
can second.
Okay. Then let's vote for the draft minutes for 4/24/2025. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to vote those minutes through.
Okay,
And I'll second it.
perfect.
Keep it.
Let's actually vote on both. I think I needed to vote
Oh, yeah, let's do
individually.
the first.
So let's do the 4/10/2025. All in favor? Okay, the motion passes. And let's vote for 4/24/2025. All in favor? And the motion passes. On the chairman's report, we had 4 repairs, 104 Old South Road, 134 Center Street, 2790 Bronson Road, and 3192 Bronson Road. For demolitions, we did not receive any recently. There's no violations at the moment. The old business is the handbook update, which we provided some information that Chris had requested about additions. So he has that. We are waiting for me to process his payment.
We got the email. Did you see
Yes.
his email? Okay.
Yes, so I need to
Yep, there you go.
kind of do that part. And I believe he's moving forward with all the information.
So nothing's gone out to anybody.
No.
He's doing his drafts.
Perfect.
He's got a really good working draft, but there's some other things he was waiting for
Okay.
from us. It's our question.
The next item was a storage container at the Southport train station. I reached out to both Patchy and the parking authority of Fairfield. I received an email indicating that from the parking authority, and I'll read it to you guys. As you know, Patchy Restaurant uses the plot for storage of its patio area furniture and umbrellas. I spoke with Judy Proctor and more recently with Christine Ford. I told Christine I will speak with Patchy and the state, and I asked that she come up with some suggestions of solutions she could live with. Patchy is pricing their suggestions. Aileen Flora also talked with the state, which will have the final approval. And then in the email, it indicates that once we have our suggestions, they would like us to share options with one another. I didn't think us as the commission will be providing any suggestions, so it will be mainly the neighbors and Patchy and the state that will need to kind of bring forward their suggestions. But she's confident that they can find a solution.
Question, so just where authority is, so the parking authority, which I understand now is actually a town department, even though it didn't used to be. Who supersedes the state versus the town?
So this is a DOT property,
Okay,
but the parking authority is the one, I guess, managing
okay,
that.
so it's a lot of a handshake.
So it's, yes.
Okay.
So we're gonna wait to
See what-
see
hopefully
the
the
price and
district-
suggestions and what they have,
Yeah.
and then we'll move on with, whatever.
So Apache's coming back with the kind of recommendations of what they.
It seems like it,
And
yeah.
are they doing the work to talk to the neighbors? Or who's-
Aileen Flora, the director of the parking authority, was the one that spoke with Judy and Christine. So
So they're all working on it.
it seems like it.
Okay.
Christine's raising her hand and saying yes.
Okay.
Hi there, is it possible to comment?
In theory, no,
Okay.
because we are
In work.
in a work session. But just because you might have more information than what we have, I'm gonna allow you.
Go for it.
Thank you very, thank you very much. Yes, so it's true, we have spoken with both Pachi and with Eileen. We have not heard anything since there was a suggestion that some alternative options be discussed and potentially determined. So we haven't heard anything back since the initial conversation.
Okay.
Our preference is, of course, for it to be removed as a shipping container is not consistent with the visual aspects of the beautiful historic district that we all enjoy. And it was our understanding that potentially there was a violation there. This is no reflection on Pachi, which we love. We just went there for dinner last Saturday night, but more so that there's a potential for precedent here, and something that was perceived to be temporary has now been there for over a year and a half. So we're concerned that options might make it even worse than it potentially already is.
Understood. And my conversation with Eileen was on Tuesday. This past Tuesday. So
Okay, so is the expectation that she's going to now contact us and after she talks to Pachi?
I'll reach back to her and see kind of where they stand at this moment.
And just to be clear, where does the Historic District Commission stand on this item then? Is it a violation, or is there any further action that takes place, or is it? I was a little
Let's,
confused.
I think we're trying to find a way forward
Yeah,
to like figure out who's actually the ones, who's responsible for dealing with this, because we can't issue a violation unless we know exactly who we're issuing that violation to. And I mean, I don't feel like I know exactly who that would be.
yes.
okay.
Is it historic? Is it a historic area?
It's in the
It's in the
historic district, yeah.
And it's similar to the containers that were at one point at the Pequot Library, which were removed, and
No, they weren't.
the big ones were, no, they're still there? Interesting.
They were painted.
That's a
and
separate issue. Let's not discuss that yet.
put behind trees.
Okay.
But we're hoping this can get solved before it has to be
Keep going to a violation, correct. So
Okay.
let's figure out, and I'll kind of keep you guys informed.
Thank you, and thank you for allowing me to speak out of the normal turn. Appreciate
No
it.
problem.
Who is that just speaking?
That was Christine Ford.
Christine Ford.
Once again, I'm sorry.
Christine Ford,
Your neighbor.
Okay. No, there was a male voice speaking, I think.
That was either me or George.
You don't have a male voice.
I know, some people think I sound
Okay.
questionable.
Rosina, could you share with us a copy of that email you got?
I can, yes.
Okay. From whom was it?
From Eileen Flora, the Director of the Parking Authority of Fairfield.
Right, but she's about to lose her authority if that RTM legislation goes through, right?
We can't change that.
We cannot decide what
Okay.
anyone else outside of our commission is doing, so,
Okay, thank you.
yep.
Thank you,
Um,
Rosina.
You're welcome. The next old business is 431 South Benson Road. It's the house that Darren brought up to our attention, that is going to be demolished on South Benson. That was the first Black graduate of, City College. We are going there tomorrow to kind of walk in and, Preservation Connecticut, it's going to do a report of what there is. The owners have been extremely cooperating.
Great.
I also spoke with Town Planning and Zoning because they will be interested in replicating the porch that will be demolished. It's just a matter of the percent, well, the setbacks, they're good.
And percent coverage?
It's the coverage. So I know the owner has been talking to Matt at Town Planning and Zoning. So I left it to the two of them to start the discussion. So, we'll see what he has to say tomorrow when we meet on site and move from there. But they have been extremely cooperating. So,
Well done, guys.
yeah. Seriously. So that's for old business. Is there any new business? Hearing no new business, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Anyone seconds?
I'll
second.
George seconds.
You can second, TJ.
So this meeting is now closed. Thank you, everyone.